BBC One. We live so much of our lives now online, it's inevitable that we have to divulge some personal information in the process. But that doesn't mean we should be held hostage to unscrupulous scammers.
My heart dropped. I can see the transactions coming out of my bank account, 5,000, 10,000. The horror, the act.
They got done up like a kipper, basically.
In the last year, the UK has lost almost £500 million to internet scams.
I saw my balance and it said zero. I just felt physically sick.
I've lost all this money. You've not lost it, it's been stolen.
The scammer's victims are left out of pocket and vulnerable.
It starts to make you doubt almost everything.
These guys out there know so much about me and I've not given permission for that.
I felt stupid, I felt like completely humiliated by it.
My mum Mavis and I are uncovering invaluable lessons for all ages as we look how to stay safe online and avoid the fraudsters' traps.
The more information that the scammers have on you, the more problems you have.
The bank will never, ever ask you to move money.
As well as meeting the people working to apprehend the fraudsters responsible.
So we can protect ourselves from the dirty, rotten scammers.
In today's show, we meet Sarah, who's desperate for help after losing thousands in an investment scam.
It makes you want to dump the whole thing, the computer, the mobile phone, the lot.
87-year-old Jim tells us how he also had thousands of pounds stolen when a scammer gained access to his computer.
They took a further 4,500 because they'd already got my details.
And we'll learn from a professor of psychology about the wide range of people who are victims of fraud.
It's very clear that a lot of people are scammed, are very intelligent, very highly educated, but they still get scammed.
We're always tempted to jump on what looks like a good deal because we think we stand to do well out of it. Isn't that right, Mum?
Absolutely. Well, you know me, I don't like to pay full price for anything.
But more often than not, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. And the person we're meeting found that out to their cost when they were offered the opportunity to invest in something to help out their pension, but all was not as it seemed.
72-year-old former care worker Sarah lives in Sussex. At the beginning of 2021, she got a call from her cousin.
Her husband had left her more money than she absolutely needed, and she wanted to give me a gift out of it, and she gave me £25,000.
Wow, how lovely.
I thought, well, I must invest it and then draw a little bit every couple of years. I went looking for an investment in the local bank. I said I wanted to buy an ISA, and he showed me this rather microscopic interest rate.
Disappointed with her own bank's options, Sarah decided to look elsewhere to invest the money her cousin had kindly given her.
I went home and I checked all the banks and looked at their interest rates, and it's all, a lot less than 1%. And then I found this website. It asked what sum you wanted to invest and what sort of return. So I was a bit daredevil. I upped it a lot on what the bank was offering. And then it asked me for my email address and phone number and name. And the next day, this very nice man rang me, and he said he was from the Prudential, and I know the Prudential is a really reputable financial company. And he said they had a bond in an ISA wrap.
An ISA wrap account is a portfolio of investments in various stocks and shares, all under an ISA umbrella, meaning it would be tax-free.
He sent me the very respectable-looking prospectus on the email. I said, yes, I was interested. It was offering 3.5% interest.
It sounds like it was all quite plausible at the time. There were no red flags.
When I made the payment, there was a general scam warning, but it was 9 o'clock at night and I was going to lose the opportunity of the investment.
So that they were dragging you in, weren't they?
Yeah. They sent me the thing to do the backs payment on my internet account, and I was going to put 15,000, and then when I saw it was such a marvellous investment, I put the whole 25 in. So, you know, happy as Larry, paid the money across and got a receipt the next day, and then they said, we'll send your login details in a day or two.
When the login details didn't arrive, Sarah decided to call the company and chase them up. But the number she had was no longer in service, and her money was nowhere to be seen.
I realised that, you know, something terrible was wrong, and I went and knocked on my daughter's door. She lives in a flat underneath me. And I said, I think I might have paid that money to a scammer. I was in such a state of shock.
You must have been devastated, Sarah.
I didn't know where I was coming or going. It completely reversed my relationship with my daughter. It was like I was a dithering, helpless child and she was in charge. And I was frightened to do anything without running it past her.
You would have been in a state of shock, full of anxiety.
And yeah, silly old me.
I wouldn't say that, Sarah, because there's so many people that have been scammed, lots and lots. You're not on your own. Lots of people wouldn't know what a fake website looks like.
It does leave you feeling utterly foolish, I can assure you.
I know, and we're finding this, aren't we? But you're not silly at all, because these are very, very clever individuals, aren't they?
Clever, calculated, and from what you're saying, you know, when you were looking on the websites, they looked incredibly professional, and then when they're sending you the correspondence, that looks really professional. It's very hard to tell.
Sarah reported the incident to her bank, but they couldn't trace the £25,000 and so were unable to give her it back, telling her that she should have done more checks before transferring the money. And since she lost the money, Sarah has been inundated with calls from fraudsters trying to scam more money out of her.
Knowing that your details are out there
Yes.
for scammers to use,
Yes.
that must be quite unnerving.
I do feel very anxious and yeah.
Sarah has asked for our help, and so we've got our group of ethical hackers on the case. This team use the same tactics as the scammers, but they prevent crime rather than committing it. Sarah knows her details are probably out there, and she wants reassurance so she can take back control and protect herself in the future.
Perhaps a bit of information on what data might be out there on you and advice in terms of how to stay safe online going forward might be of use, would you say?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we'll go away, see what we can find, and we'll chat to you again very soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
We'll catch up with Sarah later to reveal just what our hackers have been able to discover. It's common for victims of fraud to feel guilty afterwards. And like Sarah, innocent victims can feel foolish or embarrassed about falling for a scam. David Cantor is a professor of psychology who specialises in criminal behaviour and has a long track record working alongside the police on major investigations.
Well, what's really interesting about the way fraudsters work is that they are very sophisticated psychologically. We can learn a lot from them as psychologists about how they go about convincing people. They hook into a real situation and then they tell people that they are special, that they are significant, that they are to be trusted. And like all salespeople, they say, this is terribly valuable, it's something very important for you, there's a lot of money involved, if you don't do it soon, then you'll lose out. And they hook into that in a very involved and clever way.
What do you think might help victims that do feel, you know, like it's their fault and they feel really bad that it's happened to them?
Well, people who've been scammed need to realise that they are being acted on in a very sophisticated and organised way by criminals who have a lot more experience about the internet and how to use it than they do themselves. So they shouldn't blame themselves at all. Banks are improving enormously. Over the last year or so, there have been a lot of developments that make it more difficult for people to get conned. But what the banks don't do is say to people, look, think about it, you may be vulnerable. Think about your own situation and why you may fall prey to the scammers, because it's dealt with a technical problem at the moment. To my mind, it's a psychological problem. But it's very clear that a lot of people are scammed, are very capable, very intelligent, very highly educated, often really quite sophisticated, but they still get scammed.
It's clear from what David is saying that all of us can be victims of a scam because these fraudsters are so convincing. But it doesn't stop us feeling foolish and even violated, as we know that someone has our most personal information and may use it against us.
We've heard of a few cases now where scammers have been able to gain access to people's phones and literally have a whole list of all their personal details. How would you feel if someone gained access to all your information?
I would hate to even have anybody. I mean, you don't know what my password is just to open my phone up, let alone look into my emails. Nobody does apart from me. So the fact that a scammer could get into my emails, to everything that's in there, my banking, my pictures, it freaks me out completely. You know, my mind is boggled just thinking about that.
It is something that's just so personal to you. I think I'd feel violated. I've had it done at work, legitimately, when I've had IT problems, and they come in and they take hold of your whole computer. And even then, when I knew it was genuine and they were helping me out, I felt so uncomfortable. I just couldn't wait for them to get off my computer.
It is an uncomfortable thing to think about, that they can just move around the virtual world, my virtual world, and gain any information that they want. It's quite frightening.
87-year-old grandad Jim from Yorkshire had a scammer remotely access his computer.
Hello, Jim.
Hello.
How are you?
The normal bodily functions are working, but not the hearing very well.
Well, I'll speak nice and slowly and loudly if that will help you.
Yes, it will.
The former mechanic and driving instructor is now retired and is a full-time carer for his wife, Ennis.
She has dementia. So I do all the housework, cooking, cleaning, washing, ironing, gardening.
It sounds to me like you've got an awful lot on your plate. So, Jim, tell me a little bit about what's been happening to you.
I was a bit disgruntled with my bank because I wasn't getting any interest at all. So I thought, I'll invest a little, okay? So then on my phone, Bitcoin came up, right? So I opened that and I said, right, what I propose to do is invest £500. That's how it started.
Bitcoin is a legitimate, if risky, currency which anyone can trade in. However, with cryptocurrencies being unregulated, they are a potential goldmine for scammers. The link Jim received was a scam. After clicking it, Jim received a phone call from a salesman who asked for access to his computer to set up his investment.
So he got me to open my laptop, get it on twin screen. He says, I'll do everything for you. He said, at any stage, if you want to, you can withdraw your money whenever you like.
So all the time they were talking to you, I mean, did this happen over a period of time?
Yeah, all more or less on the same day. They kept me talking on the laptop and the phone at the same time for at least 3 hours.
And whilst they were talking to you, were they very believable?
Oh, good grief, yes. Yeah.
Jim thought he was investing £500. But when the call was over, he discovered that a lot more money had been taken from his account.
While I was having a conversation with him, on the same day, they took a further 4,500 because they'd already got my details. But as soon as I discovered that they'd taken a further 4,500 out of my account, I contacted my bank and I said, look, this is what's happened. I didn't agree to that. It was too late then. The 4.5 grand had gone.
Gosh.
I know. By then, I'd decided that the whole thing was a scam.
Jim has tried to trace his money, but when he called the company, he was told his account did not exist.
Do you think you'll get your money back?
No, not really, no. I worry about the thousands of old people like myself that don't know anything about scams. These things play on your mind. It make you worry that what's next? Are they going to get any more money out of my account?
Jim has been targeted on a number of occasions by scammers, costing him £6,000, and this latest case was the final straw.
And it's not just Jim that's worried, it's his family too. His son Chris and his grandson CJ have got in touch and asked us for our help to try and stop Jim from being scammed again.
I know for a fact he's been scammed like 6, 7, 8 times, but it could be much more, unfortunately.
There's a recent one where there's a guy phoned him up saying that there's a warrant out for his arrest in South Africa. And again, it's these people, they're just preying and preying on elderly people, putting the frighteners on them, if you like.
It's a helpless situation. He just will always answer the phone and he will always entertain whoever it is that's trying to sort of exploit him. Obviously, my nan has advanced dementia at the moment, so he's just caring for her around the clock, and I don't know if it's just that gives him a break just to speak to someone on the phone, but it's happened so many times now.
My dad's the type of guy who would give it his dying breath. He's that sort of guy. He likes to think that he's on top of stuff. In reality, it's too much for him. The technology's far too much for my dad.
And it's infuriating, but I can't get angry at him. It's really hard to see a way out of it at the moment.
Chris and CJ say they're trying their best to protect him, but scammers continue to call. On top of all of this, Jim is in recovery from prostate cancer, and they don't want his health affected by more scam stress.
I can so easily see it happening again. I've had a lot of sleepless nights over it because I love him to bits. I love him almost more than anyone on earth.
Jim realises he needs to make changes and understands his family's concerns. But he needs help.
Jim, would it be useful if we did some digging to see how you could possibly stay safer online and hopefully your sons would stop worrying about you again?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Our team of ethical hackers are determined to help the family, and they'll be looking at where Jim is most vulnerable and how he can be better protected in the future.
We're going to see if we can find out as much information as we can to help you online and hopefully keep safe.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Jim.
Talking to Jim has had a real effect on me. Seeing the trouble his son and grandson have gone to shows how important it is to have people around you who can help. It actually makes me appreciate having Michelle around.
What do you think about Jim's son and grandson getting in touch? It is very nice to see that families are there to support their elders, but worrying to know that we have to be wary that things like this can happen to any member of our family. The thing with Jim is, you know, there he is, he's an elderly man, he's vulnerable, he wants to make connections over the phone, he likes having a nice conversation, and there are people out there waiting to target him, to scam him. Obviously, it's something that's really affected Jim, but it's really affected his son, Chris, and his grandson, CJ. You know, it has repercussions, doesn't it?
You have to be vigilant. It's not an age thing, it's an everybody thing.
Yeah.
Sarah in Sussex was scammed out of £25,000 at the beginning of 2021, and our ethical hackers have been looking into her case. It's time to catch up with one of them to see how they're getting on.
Hi, Matt. What have you found on Sarah?
We found quite a bit of older information going back to sort of like when she was at school in the 1960s, but she is being reasonably safe out there at the moment. We found a couple of online accounts, but she is being quite secure.
What does Sarah need to do then to be a bit safer? Because at the end of the day, she still got scammed.
Yeah, so it looks like that they got into her email. So all it would be setting up what's called multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication, which means it's not just something you know like a password, but it's something you have like a mobile phone. Most hackers, they're not going to come up and steal your phone to get into your account. So if you have a physical device, it stops about 90% of all its hacking attempts.
Two-factor authentication uses a passcode that is sent to your mobile, which you need to enter after your password. And every time you log into your account, it sends a new set of numbers as an extra layer of security.
That's good to hear. And is that something that's easy to do?
Very, very easy. So quite a lot of banks have already started doing this for your approve a transaction on your phone, and it's equivalent of that. So it's installed by default on quite a lot of Android phones. And if not, basically every website has a guide on how to set up 2FA for their accounts.
Brilliant.
That's great news.
Yeah, really good. Matt, thanks again.
Yeah, cheers.
No problem.
Across the series, we've seen many common themes, with red flags that tell you something might not be right and that you could end up being scammed. So we've compiled a list of some of the top things to watch out for to make sure you're not caught out. If you see or hear any one of these, then think twice about going ahead and seek advice from a friend or family member before you proceed any further. Number 1. If you receive a text from a delivery company asking you to pay fees, be wary. This is a really common starting point for thousands of scams. As we saw when Peter told us about a message he got.
It said, Hermes, we tried to deliver your parcel today. Please click on this link to arrange a redelivery. And then it said you've got to pay a redelivery charge of £2.14.
We've heard lots about similar fake messages claiming to be from all sorts of courier companies, including Royal Mail, DPD and UPS. In Peter's case, he ended up losing £3,000 in the scam that followed. So if you get one of these messages, never click on the link. Instead, contact the company direct through a trusted source and check if it's legitimate. Number 2. Frequently, the delivery scam leads on to another, bigger scam, which involves the fraudster claiming to be from your bank, telling you that your account has been compromised. As Erin found out when she was scammed out of £20,000.
£20,000.
Yeah, weeks before I meant to buy my first house and put my mortgage deposit down.
Erin was convinced it was her bank calling because the number displayed on her phone matched the number on the back of her bank card.
It's the number on the back of my debit card.
Exactly the same number?
Exactly the same number.
This is number 3, number spoofing. It's where criminals are able to make it seem like they're calling from a legitimate organisation when they're not. So if anyone calls you claiming to be your bank, always put the phone down and call them back on a number you trust. making sure the line is clear before you do so. Number 4. Many times, scammers masquerading as your bank will try and convince you to put your money into a safe account, or holding account as it can be referred to. Paula lost thousands this way.
The guy said, I think your account's been hacked. Can you move all your money out of that account? So that was £5,000.
Banks will never ask you to transfer your money into another account like this. So if you're asked to do it, it's highly likely to be a scam. But it's not just banks that criminals pretend to be calling from. They've proven to be masters of socially engineering people in very sophisticated ways. Phil was convinced to hand over 18 grand to help catch terrorists by someone he thought was an agent at the National Crime Agency.
I thought it was strange, but there again, you're dealing with a government department, and they may work in very mysterious ways, but if that's the way they work.
If you get a call out of the blue from any company, whoever it may be, always proceed with extreme caution. Scammers rely on speed and panic, so don't be forced into reacting straight away. If the caller is ever legitimate, you'll never be punished for being cautious and telling them you'll call them back. If you're ever in doubt, put the phone down and take advice from someone you trust. Number 5. Another common way scammers get their hands on your money is by persuading us to let them have control of our devices. This happened to Melissa, who had thousands stolen when fraudsters got access to her computer.
I had wanted to try and secure my money. I'm not a technical person, so I didn't really understand what they were asking me to do.
So unless it's from a trusted source, never download an app or piece of software onto your device to let someone access it remotely. And finally, number 6. Always make sure your passwords are strong and difficult to work out. Otherwise, you could come unstuck like Nathan, who had £12,000 stolen when his email password was compromised.
They hacked my Google email account, copied the invoices, deleted the original emails from the 2 companies, and they had control of my account.
Make sure you don't use words or phrases easily connected to you. Choose random passwords, ideally starting with numbers. Throughout the series, we've seen the devastating impact scams can have on people's lives.
I sat in the car, cried my eyes out for about 10.
I just felt so stupid, so stupid.
Oh, it's left you traumatised, doesn't it?
Traumatised, yeah.
So if you don't know exactly who's calling or texting, question everything you're being told or asked.
Earlier, we met 72-year-old Sarah from Sussex, who had been gifted £25,000 by her cousin. She decided to invest it through a company who were advertising on her social media.
This very nice man rang me and he said he was from the Prudential and he said they had a bond in an ISA wrap.
It wasn't someone from Prudential at all, but a scammer who stole the whole £25,000. Since then, she's been subject to numerous calls from other scammers, and the experience has totally destroyed Sarah's confidence.
I didn't know where I was coming or going.
So we set our team of ethical hackers on the case to look into how Sarah got scammed and how she can protect herself going forward. And now she's returned to find out what they managed to uncover.
So Sarah, you were looking to invest your money, and though that can be a great idea, our experts have informed us that investment scams are on the rise, and so anyone looking to invest needs to be very diligent in their research. The company you used were copying a legitimate company name, and our experts say this is a common tactic of scammers, and it means they can easily gain your trust and they don't have to work quite so hard for it because they're piggybacking off the good name and reputation of someone else. The advice is not to be pressured into giving away your details or your money, as well as listing some red flags that something could be a scam, like being told you have access to a special or limited offer. And that's something you experienced, isn't it?
Deadline date, big time.
Our ethical hackers also looked online to see what information they could find on you. And they found your social media profiles, which is where we know you were targeted. And from there, it was possible to create a timeline of you going all the way back to your high school days in the 70s.
Wow. Did you realise they could sort of see that amount of information?
I think I put an old school on Facebook because I wanted to trace my school friends.
We put information like this very harmlessly on social media, but it's also great fodder for a scammer to use against us, to build up a picture, to build up a profile that they'll use, unfortunately, to exploit us.
It is making a lot of sense.
And it isn't just you that our ethical hackers could research, Sarah. From your online presence, it led the hackers to your family members as well.
This next shocking revelation shows just how easy scammers can link Sarah to her relatives.
If you want to turn that page over just there, you can see some information there that we found on your family. This just gives you a sense of how quickly scammers can begin to build a profile and connect all the dots to our loved ones too.
Right. It's a daughter and a cousin.
It's easy to think that it's just our family or our friends that are looking, but we really need to be aware that we are not the only people able to access this data. It could be used against us.
Sarah needs to look at her social media privacy settings so that she is only sharing information with her family and not fraudsters.
Sarah, were you aware that there could be links between you and your family and friends?
I'm not before this, no. I'm going to have to be a lot more careful in future.
Yeah.
Makes you want to dump the whole thing, the computer, the mobile phone, the lot.
It does get you like that, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Do you think you'll feel a bit more positive going forward about your online safety and your online behaviour?
Yes, I think I have to go away and process it and then come up with a strategy for the future.
Yeah, it's quite overwhelming. It's a lot of information.
It's overwhelming, it's scary.
It's been a traumatic time, but now you have the tools to start healing again.
Great, and I can tell other people as well, as you're doing.
You can spread the word.
Spread the word.
Sarah is leaving armed with the knowledge of what to do if a scammer tries to get their hands on her money again.
I've learnt a heck of a lot. I think the best advice is to be really vigilant about giving up personal details and not acting without checking people are who they say they are.
If you've been scammed and want our help to better protect yourself online, then please contact scammers@bbc.co.uk.
Across the UK, it's estimated that an older person is scammed every 40 seconds. One of those was 87-year-old Jim from Doncaster, who's been a victim of fraud multiple times.
That make you worry that what's next? Are they going to get any more money out of my account?
Jim's grandson CJ and his son Chris told us earlier they're now worried sick about him.
I know for a fact he's been scammed like 6, 7, 8 times, but it could be much more, unfortunately.
He likes to think that he's on top of stuff. In reality, the technology is far too much for my dad.
So we set our ethical hackers on the case to find out what Jim can do to better protect himself. And today we've invited the family to come and find out just what information they've been able to discover. His son Chris and grandson CJ have come to see us, meaning Jim can stay at home and care for his wife.
What we do know is that data is really useful to scammers, and it could be data that we aren't even aware is valuable. So on Jim, there's quite a lot of information available, and one of the first things we were aware of is that his address and his year of birth are publicly accessible.
I mean, I wasn't aware at all that his address was out there, but I'm not massively surprised.
What we'd suggest is checking people searching websites like Yale, Spokeo, 192 to see all the places that the address is listed and requesting for that information to be removed. Our ethical hackers were also able to find 2 different numbers, one a landline and one a mobile number. We know that Jim has been targeted on these numbers and we wouldn't expect this to stop. The only thing you can do is pick up to the numbers that you know and block the numbers that you don't know, or change his phone numbers and don't give them out. Now, we were also able to see small details like Jim's mobile phone network. So if a scammer calls him and tells him that they're from his mobile phone network, and they also have other information like his home address or access to his other numbers, it'd be easy again to sound genuine.
You could definitely see how that could be used against you.
Yeah, you could.
Because he's been very loyal to that phone brand as well, and he swears by him.
It's something I wouldn't have even thought, but when you mention it, it just shows how easy it can be.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
I feel for you because I have a father who's in a very similar situation and he lives on his own and he's always happy for someone to ring. And I told him, because of all the scams that I know about now, I said, whoever calls you, unless it's myself or my brothers, assume it's a scam, put the phone down and ring me or ring my brothers.
So much better to be on the cautious side.
Our ethical hackers didn't stop at Jim, though. They were also able to uncover a lot of concerning details about his son Chris, which could have played a significant part in connecting the dots for the scammers, leaving Jim exposed.
We could see a lot of information on you, so things like your employment history, your education history, websites, social media, phone numbers, dates of birth, and a lot more. Were you aware of how much information you were sharing online?
Not even thought about it. Because we tend to think that we're switched on and we're on top of things like that. I feel a little bit disturbed that all that information about me is out there. I just never gave it a second thought.
I think we all need to protect our information because as a family you're all connected.
Yeah.
And there's even worse news still to come for Chris.
Chris, we could also see that you've actually been involved in at least 9 separate data breaches going back to 2016. And we know that in those data breaches, email addresses, locations, and even passwords were exposed. Is that something you knew of?
No. That's frightening. It makes me just want to close my computer and never go back on it and go back to a simpler life. But I have to update things because it is really, really shocking. So changing passwords, changing my mail provider. Yeah, it's something I will do.
Not only has Chris been exposed in multiple data breaches, but his details have been released through something known as a paste.
Now, a paste, Chris, is when information is pasted to a public-facing website which is designed to share content. So the sort of website is favoured by hackers due to how easy it is to anonymously share your information.
I'm just confused how simple it is that they've got within my little world. And and now I'm exposed worldwide. It's very worrying. And I just have to change everything, start again. Such as my dad as well, he's got to do the same.
And it doesn't just come down to certain age groups, CJ.
No.
We're all vulnerable
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And
I'm
no
learning
matter
that.
how long you've been on the internet or how young you are, the scammers know that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they find more sophisticated ways to get to all age groups. So
Absolutely.
be vigilant.
That's the key word.
Vigilant. Yeah.
Now that Chris and CJ have heard the news, they want to reassure Jim and tell him they're all in this together. Time to video call Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Hi, this is Michelle.
Yeah, hi, Michelle. Oh, she's a cracker as well.
She's lovely, isn't she, Jim? Chip off the old block.
Right, listen, Dad, very important. We've learnt so much in this session this morning.
We're going to need to get you a new number sorted out for your phone, because it turns out that your information, like your address and your age, is out there publicly available on the internet.
And you're not alone in this, because I found out today that I've been infiltrated as well, many times. So it just doesn't happen to the elderly, it happens to us all. So as a family, we've got to get together and stomp out everything that we can, make a clean, fresh start.
Oh, I'll go along with that.
We'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
It's not going to happen again, Dad. No way.
With the help of Chris and CJ, you're going to make positive changes, aren't you, Jim, to your online life?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I've been ordered by the two experts there not to order anything online. if I want anything, I've got to go through Chris.
Fantastic.
Well, Jim, it's lovely speaking to you, and all the best of luck in the future. Take care, okay?
I will.
Bye.
Love you all.
Love you,
See you,
Dad.
Granddad. Bye, Dad.
Chris and CJ leave with a full pack of information on how the whole family can protect themselves going forward.
I feel like we've got all the tools we need to iron this out now. I mean, I think we're very, very well prepared now to make some drastic but very necessary changes.
It's going to make us sleep better at night.
Yeah, definitely.
You can see how much the family really care for each other, and they're up for this challenge.
Yeah, Jim's son and grandson did the right thing by coming in today, and they are going to do everything they can to keep him safe. Here's hoping they're able to shut off the scammers so Jim can enjoy a happy retirement. Delve deeper into the world of cybercrime and online scams with the Open University. From phishing and malware to Trojans and worms. Head to bbc.co.uk/scammers and follow the links to the Open University.
Almost the weekend. How about a hit comedy crime caper? Christopher Walken stars in The Outlaws. Watch on iPlayer. And it's a Friday night favourite. Paddy has a special question of sport best ofs tonight at 8 on BBC One.